Jim, will you do the honor of the firm pledge? Please stand.
Kind and gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the privilege to be gathered here this evening to take care of the business of this your city. Thank you for each and every one that's here. Thank you for the year that you just brought us through. Many blessings. Thank you that we can look forward to another year with your blessings. Thank you for the season we just celebrated and the reason we celebrated it. For your Son and our Savior. Be with each one here. Guide the decision making, that it be for your glory. Continue to watch over us, forgive us, be God and direct us. We give you all the praise, the honor, and the glory. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Stand by the roll, please.
Mr. Archer. Mr. Bollinger. Here. Ms. Thompson.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mayor Stanfield.
Here. Item number 4, approve your minutes for your December 2017 meeting. What's council's pleasure? Have a motion, Joe, have a second.
Second.
Second by Ms. Thompson, call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 5, report from your boards, your committees, and your department heads. Council's pleasure. Have a motion, Joe, have a second.
Second.
Have a second, Mr. Wilson, call the roll, stand.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 6, any comments from the citizens? I have one. I want to, everybody, we've got Westfall Cafeteria open for our shelter to get people in and out of the cold. And if you're cold, you're welcome to come in warm, spend the night. We've got food, you're welcome to come in and eat as much as you want. And we're going to try to keep it open until Monday morning. And on behalf of me and my council, I just want to thank the people and the business people that's got involved to make this thing work, and Johnny for opening that center up and make sure it's heated. And on behalf of all of our hearts, we just want to thank everybody that's involved in this. Thank you. Is there any announcements? Anything? You know that. Okay, under ordinance and resolutions, item number 1, resolutions 2018-01, approval to apply for the 2018 CDBG project grant. What's council's pleasure?
Move approval.
Have a motion by Joe, to have a second.
Second.
Have a second, Mr. Wilson, call the roll, stand.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2, resolutions 2018-02, approval of community development partners to administer the 2018 CDBG grant. What's council's pleasure?
Approval, Mayor.
Have a motion, Mr. Wilson, have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Archer, call the roll, stand.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 3, resolution 2018-03, approval of Full Medell and McIndoe and Associates for engineering the 2018 CDBG grant. What's council's pleasure?
How do we select that firm? Or any other?
I think this is something that, Stan, I'm not sure about this, this is something that Terry does with the CDBG grant.
Yeah.
Typically, you send out a request for qualifications and you select a firm from the ones that send back in their qualifications.
We've used these firms before, and they're good people to deal with. Even it is.
Move for approval.
I have a motion by Bill, have a second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Caldwell, stand.
Mr. Archer.
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger.
Yes.
Ms. Thompson.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 4, resolutions 2018-04, amendments to the original 2017-2018 budget. What's council's pleasure?
Is that just in general, or what we?
Yeah.
General
Yeah.
to make up?
Did you make that motion, Ron?
Yeah.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, have a second.
Second.
Second by Joe, call the roll, please.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, under administration, item number 1, approval of a lease contract with Father Housing Authority on the Dewey Hunter Center. You have a copy of the contract. I've read it. I'm pretty sure each council member has read it. It's just basically a contract like we did for the housing project, leasing the property from us at the post office for property for Russell Towers. I think Reed's looked at it, right, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's just a basic contract there.
Yeah.
Yes. Recommend
You-
just go ahead and approve
yeah,
it. It's
you-
for a year
yeah.
and then revisit the end of next year. My understanding of it is that, we collect everything. What we're responsible for is the
Utilities.
utilities.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't do any change in anything to it, right, Johnny, unless we approve it. I'm good with it. What's the council's pleasure? Have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion from Joey, have a second.
Second.
Have a second, call the roll.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
All right. Okay, on this next one, approval of the city to sell the state of Tennessee a 4-foot section of property on the north side of North 11th Street. That's for the bridge on North 11th Street. What was the price of it, y'all? $1,400.
That is where we have they're gonna redo the bridge
Right.
in the state of Tennessee, and they need that 4-foot section of property from the city in the process to redo the bridge, so recommend approving that.
You know, it's one of the newest bridges that the city had built in the last few years. It's the first one to be torn down because it's defective. We've had a weight limit on it, Jim, for about 4 or 5 years, a weight limit.
5 or 6,
Yeah. It's a shame, it's the way it is, but it's just the way it is on these bridges. What's council's pleasure?
Move approved.
Have a motion, Joey, have a second.
Second.
Have a second by Ann.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, on this number 3, there's some questions about this. This thing has come before the plan commission about 3 times that I know of. And it's a request to abandon or sell the 16-foot portion of the alleyway from South 21st Street to the end of the Tiller property. Brian Tiller is the person that's wanting to acquire the property, and it joins the Wells property. Dwight Crutchfield has done some surveying on it before. Dwight, what have you found out about it? You just want to try to find out something on this thing?
Oh, I've not found anything out, Dorman's been closed, and, can't find anything out about that till tomorrow.
Okay. But you'll have something for us by next meeting?
Yes.
Okay, I want to ask council to put this out there. It's fine. It seemed like,
I have a question. 16 foot wide, but how long? How long is it?
It's on your, it is 61.47 feet.
150 foot long?
it's probably more than that. Would you know, Brian, what it is, Brian?
That's no more than 150 feet.
No more than 100 feet.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, 150 feet.
But we've got these alleys, ways anywhere from between,
Right. I was
between
wondering.
Kyle and, between Kentucky and Kyle Street. That alley goes in behind Mrs. Green's trailer. She just passed away. We went in there before to cut some trees down. And that person, Margaret Jean Williams, she had a accident with her. We went in there a few years back and done some work when I was in the street department, but we've got unopened alleys everywhere. We got one, right here below Hansford Hatmakers, coming off of Clifford Jennings going up to Hemlock. And you've got one up there at Donald Lee's going up Kentucky, Hemlock, Kentucky. You know, we got, up here at Rissa Price's, you've got one going there from John Snodden going over across the River Drive, you know. So, but I'd like the council to put this out to the right.
We wouldn't ever have any use for it, would we?
Probably not, but I'd hate to landlock somebody in there. Something's come up, this thing has come up 3 times since I've been here. And it's a red flag to me about something, I can't pinpoint it, nobody can remember. Joe doesn't remember, do you, Joe?
Well, the reason it was a red flag, Mayor, was at that time, I hadn't owned all 3 pieces of property. I now own all 3 pieces of property around it. Stan Brasco was on it prior to that. Right, and so now I own all 3 pieces of it. And there's road frontage plus on West Kentucky, if there's ever would be a development on the West Kentucky is the way they'd go in anyways. There's no utilities or anything on that section. It would not benefit the city in any ways or anybody really. So I mean,
I'd still like for Dwight to research this thing, Brian, and if the council does decide to give it to you or sell it to you, I don't want this council to be responsible if something happens, because they give it to you, you'd be liable for anything with the Wells family. Like, I talked to Miss Wells, right, to come up to the planning commission, and she said something, but I really couldn't understand what she was talking about.
Mayor, can I make a comment?
Sure.
There was something else in the planning commission, when Mr. Hoskins made the motion, he wanted to ask the council to reduce a set of guidelines to writing for if we're going to abandon property and put it back on the tax roll, like this piece of property in question, can never be made a city street because it has to have at least a 40-foot right of way and it's only 16 feet wide. It has to have a 20-foot wide, 28-foot roadways. But what he was talking about, he wanted the council to come up with a standard guidelines for if you meet the standard set of guidelines, then we can consider, then you all can consider giving or selling property to people. If you don't meet this set of guidelines, then you wouldn't consider it.
Well, that's
And I think the considerations would be what you're talking about, if it landlocks somebody, if it's big enough to be made a city street, if it's, if y'all give me some guidance, if you want to do that, then we'll be happy to come up with a set of guidelines for y'all to consider.
What you need to do is get our city attorney, retract them, and you and Reed will just find out and bring it back for city council.
Well, we can do that. That's not a,
But Stan, you was the planning commission, chairman of the planning commission, when this thing come up about once or twice, you know why, Ray?
I wasn't chairman, Joe was chairman, but I worked in the codes at that time. And yeah, it actually come up 2 or 3 times, but like I told y'all need to research the minutes to see what the minutes actually said. But I'm not for definite what it did say.
Look, at that time, like he said, it was agricultural, it was, more on property than it was. He says purchase all the property. It doesn't really landlock anybody because there's, access off Kyle Street and also was it Kentucky?
I guarantee you, you go up the road for next to Paul Chiller, you'll never turn lights up, he's been over 100 years by himself, him and his wife. Start turning traffic down.
We just paved this driveway in there, maybe that last one.
But we do it every time we blacktop it. To be honest with you, we have to do the job.
this comes up from time to time. It always has, it always will. I mean, I remember when I was patrolling the police department, this come up, property for people for over the years. So we just need to, I think I agree with Mr. Hoskins, we do need a set of rules to give the property. Because some property, it would be advantageous for the city to put it back on the tax rolls. Some property, if it landlocks people, if it's wide enough to get road, it wouldn't be.
Well, it's like you was talking about, they next to the hospital, she moved that piece of property. Ever since she owned her house, and she wanted the city to give it to her. And I went and looked at it, there's a power pole sitting right in the middle of the road. Now, what if that power pole goes down or a transformer goes, what you do, start climbing the transformer in the back?
That's why a good set of written guidelines, I believe is what Mr. Hoskins called it, will be good for all of us, That way we've got a set of rules to go by.
Okay?
Like I say, always done that. Close a street like that is they gave an equal part to each person that
Sure.
owns it.
Right.
If they paid for the wives and everything else, shoot, fire and stuff. If you start charging someone for a portion of that property, Bill may apply his portion. I'm the next person out. I might decide I don't want to pay for my portion, and then you end up with a domino effect on closed street right there. Force anybody to pay for it.
Some people may just be to the point in their lives to where they're not able to pay for, a piece of property too.
I know we've, since I've been on council, we've closed several streets and given to these one property.
Yeah.
No water lines, no utilities, no sewer lines.
No, sir.
You gonna delay it a month?
Yeah, I like to. I need a motion, make sure we get what's right. I mean, I'm sure to give it, Brian. I don't
I
make
make
that.
the motion to delay it until we find out for sure.
That's what, okay. I have a motion and I have a second.
Month okay with you, Brian?
Well, he's been our.
Well, actually, there was reasons the time came up that, I mean, a month will put me more in strain because then if it goes through 3 readings, that puts me 4 to 5 months out. I mean, you know, if it's a big deal, I mean, the city can come and pay it for me. I mean, I don't have an issue with that.
We have properties for you. I have
About 3
property.
times over 10 years, yes, and I've also, 2 of them times I've had to spread them, the other times, years and years, I've always kept care of it and stuff.
If I'm
Even
not,
that,
if I'm not mistaken, Brian, part of your garage is sitting on that end of the street.
no.
None of it's sitting on the street?
No, but part of her house is sitting on that east Kentucky. No. And then we've got,
That's why we need somebody to research, whether it be the Wild or Tony Question
well,
or
he's,
somebody.
when that, the lot's done, every bit of that property applies, don't you?
Yeah, you're in hands.
All
We
the way
have to
through.
verify with money, correct?
Oh,
It's not been verified with money, look, right?
No, that's what the Wild's gonna do. What you, tell me some of the dormants.
Or dormant.
Dormant, dormant.
Well, what do you think, Joe? You've been through this 3 times and it's been broke up. What do you, your opinion on it? Well, it doesn't landlock anyone. You know, I don't know if Mrs. Wells got an issue with it or not. I hadn't talked to her about it.
We probably need to give.
I think Daniel talked to her, didn't he?
Huh?
Daniel talked to her, didn't he?
I talked to her. I went out before the planning commission meeting and explained to her, you know, what was being brought before the planning commission. If she had any issues, that she could come down to the planning commission, and she didn't show up for the planning commission. I talked to her and her son, both Terry. I think
Terry, the only way Terry could hear is the ambulance will be him right there.
Well, the one I talked to, I thought Terry, he was up walking around the house. He looked like he,
You're talking about Scott.
Yeah. Scott's the big one.
Yeah, he's talking about Terry. Terry actually, I think the estate holder of that, actually.
but I did make him aware of the planning commission meeting. I told him what was proposed to the planning commission.
Well, you need to have them there next time.
Well,
You need to have
I
them.
told him that I can't make them come.
You need, today, the meeting, you need to call and tell them, we'll get them.
I'll second that motion.
Have a motion second. Call the roll, Sam.
Mr.
We're gonna
Archer,
put this thing to rest next.
Next month will be the rest.
You-
One way or the other. Call roll, Sam.
Mr. Archer,
Yes,
Mr. Bollinger,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes,
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, under fire department. Mr. Clary's 85 Kenwood Florida truck surplus. I need a motion to declare it surplus.
I'll make a motion to declare it surplus.
I have a motion, I need to have a second.
Second.
Second, Joe Cullen, Sam.
Mr. Archer,
yes.
Mr. Bollinger,
Yes.
Ms. Thompson,
Yes,
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, number 3, approve donate the 1985 Kenwood Florida Department to the Wild Florida Department. Jimmy Pack is not here, but that truck is 30-some years old. It's been a good truck for the city. I think in the last 10 years, the city has probably given away probably about 4 fire trucks to these rural communities. And, you know, we advertised to sell it. It wasn't gonna bring anything, but if that truck saved one person's life or saved one person's house, it'd be worthwhile of having it.
Mayor.
We're getting to a situation on there where this ain't much different than declaring that property abandoned and giving it to Brian. That's what fire truck. It's a good gesture on our part and should be done, but 6 of one and half a dozen another one.
It's kinda like me and you giving all our city employees a ham for Christmas, you know?
You know, I don't have any problem with donating it to them, but I think there should be some stipulation that that they don't just take it and sell it.
Well, yeah.
We got caught in that before.
Once we did, we sure did.
What you talking about, the
We
state?
drove one across Gerald Mountain.
What, John?
Oh,
Fire truck.
I'm sorry. I thought you said.
Yeah, and we need a stipulation that they keep that truck so long. I don't know why Jimmy Pank's not here, since he's the captain.
I'll make a motion that we donate it to them with the stipulation that if they can't sell it.
For how long? What was it, Joe, last
What year
time?
was it? 1985?
It won't last but a few more years.
You have to keep at least, they have to keep it a year, they have to keep at least 6 months to a year.
Just like we have to do.
I would say a year at least.
It must be a year.
Okay. You put it
A
for-
year.
Okay.
Make a motion for it to be a year before they sell it.
I have a motion, and have a second.
Second.
Second. Hot Rod, call the roll, Sam.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
All right, here we go with another fire truck. CE, are you ready for this one?
Yep,
All right. What do you gonna recommend here?
I'd like to recommend we go with Rosenberg for the new fire truck. The bid came in at $467, $458. The only thing is we have enough money to pay part of the chassis. I have to ask the council to pay the other part of the chassis. You have a piece of paper showing the breakdown on it.
That's $100,000 out of fund balance.
Yes, sir.
You just want to ask something about Joe Williams, what was your city?
Is this does this fire truck meet specs?
Yes, it does.
Okay, was it the low bid?
Yeah, yes, it does.
It meets, but it does meet specs. Did both companies that bid, did they both meet specs? And the other company did not meet specs? Okay.
Now, Eddie, you're pretty well familiar with these fire trucks, and Sean's quite a bit familiar with them. What do you think of that? You're gonna be operating that.
You get it, bad apples with everything, you know?
The last one we bought was a bad apple. That bank's dollars dead.
I can name 4 others, same kind, normal routine stuff, you know?
Okay. Now, we'll have to come up with, like Joe said, $100,000 out of fund balance, and that gets the chassis. And then with apparatus, we get the chassis, we'll have to borrow money to pay, I think from Ford Motor Credit to pay for the apparatus, right?
Yes, sir. $45,000 a year.
Yep.
And I would be for going to 7 years, I would go 8 on it.
The reason why Terry worked that out 2 different figures was the hydrant fire safety money that comes in from the electric bills that we use to pay these payments. We only take in about $40,000 to $41,000 a year. So Terry was thinking we might need to stretch it out to the 8 years. I didn't really like that myself either, but in order to make sure we made the payments. Now, that's figuring, Terry was figuring this from Ford Motor Credit. There is a couple of companies out there that I've been told about by some of the salesmen, said that I think there's one in, Arkansas, Kansas one, there's a bank. The only thing they specialize in financing fire trucks, and they give a whole lot better interest on it, because that's what they do for a living mainly, emergency vehicles.
Right.
So we
The
have
financing
actually
would not have to be
8.
done until it's,
Huh?
the financing wouldn't be done until
The
the chassis
financing
is
wouldn't have to be
completed,
done,
right?
right. Financing wouldn't have to be done until the final payment was due. We just have to have it done by that time when the truck's ready to be delivered and paid off. So we have 8, probably 9, 10, 11 months to find better financing than that if it's available. And I think with a little work, we could probably find a better financing.
That's the way it's always been, and it's just,
And we've always used Ford Motor Credit because they was always willing just to jump on board and do it.
we use it in street farm too.
5.70 is quite a bit.
All right?
And we need this truck, don't we?
Yeah, with this fire truck would probably, unless something drastically happened, should be the last fire truck the city would have to probably purchase, hopefully for 15 years or better. With the trucks that we have now, the shape that they're in, this one more would, I think, would carry the city possibly 20 years or better. I know 15 to 20.
What about the ladder truck? How's it coming?
It's doing fantastic. That was a great deal. We got a real good deal on that, or a good price for what we got. Most times you buy something like that, you usually have some bugs you have to work out. We haven't had to work out any bugs. It's really been, when that truck was bought, the council bought that day, we didn't get around it, I don't think. We got a good truck.
Did that last pump we bought, was it in fact?
Well, it was, there's a lot of misunderstanding about it. Most of the trouble we was having out of it was the chassis, three parts of the chassis part. And that chassis was actually built by HME for Rosenbauer. And Rosenbauer actually sent a man, one of their technicians up here about 4 or 5 weeks ago. He went through that truck sitting outside, and he worked on it for about 4.5 hours. He changed a lot of the grounding system on that truck. He said he did, that they just, Rosenbauer did not do that, trucks that way. He changed it. They didn't charge us a dime. And he worked about 4 hours on it. Knock on wood, since then, we've not had any problems out of that truck.
All right, so, thanks. Okay, what's council's pleasure?
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and accept the bid.
Have a motion made, have a second. Have a second by Joe, I'll go stand.
Mr. Archer?
Yes.
Mr. Bollinger?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes,
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Okay, under Johnny, Parks and Recreation Department, the old skate stuff that's at the street department, when we moved it from the flea market back here up to the street department, it's been up there for years. We need to declare it surplus. It's been in Jim's way for a long time. Jim's got it all stacked up, and we declare it surplus. And I tell you what now, when this thing was over here in the flea market, kids from Jellicoe come over and used it. I mean, they wore it out. And now Jellicoe's got their own skate park over there. And I'd like for council, if Forster Beard and council needs some of that stuff or needs all of it, just give it to them. You know, if he just give us, how many Christmas lights, Jim, 50, Jellicoe?
Pardon?
Well, 50 Christmas lights they give us, Jellicoe.
We've not had time to go through them, they appear to be good, there may be some bugs out.
Yeah.
But other than that, they appear to be good.
He's got more of them. He said, we're welcome to more of them. They all come from
Yeah.
Gatlinburg.
We've not had time to
Gatlinburg.
get over and look at what else he's got, how many more, but I
And
will.
them lights are anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a pop. You know,
They appear to be a little heavier made than what we have.
Mayor, you might want to check, I don't have a problem giving it to them, but a few years back when we redone the playground, there was an issue with, like with playground
I
equipment.
can't hear you.
With playground equipment donated, there's a certain liability that the city would have, so you might want to talk to Greg before you actually donate it to somebody.
I can give you that.
What's that?
if you donate it to another city,
There is a liability.
I just wouldn't want to see the city to have, you know, any liability. That's just something I think you need to check on, because there was a church or two that wanted some playground equipment, and back then, it's been several years back, TML recommended let's get rid of it. So, you might remember that, I think you were on the council. So that's the only issue with, I mean, if you bid it, I mean, they could bid on it, they can put it out there. I guess you'd give it to anybody you wanted to. Did you have to give it to the high bidder, or?
can we, if we do it as surplus, can it just be sold, or does it have to go to auction?
Yeah,
Well, now, in another city, if you, I'm not, you know, if you declare something surplus, just like a fire truck, we just gave you wide open. I'll check with Reed and see if we'll hold any liability, but you can give it or do it with another municipality. You know, we just did a garbage truck with Jacksboro, here a while back, and just did the fire truck here, so I'll check with Reed and see if we can just,
I think it's different though, Jimmy, with playground equipment.
is it?
You know, that's-
Let me
that's
check,
a
I'll
challenge.
check with them. I've got to call them, Pass anyway. They were closed today, but I've got to call them and,
I said, they may not even want it. They may not even want it, you know.
But if you surplus it, that eliminates your liability. You
During
know?
the workshop, you were supposed to check with Jellicoe and see if they wanted it. Did you contact them?
no, I hadn't talked to them.
Because Johnny wasn't here and you were going to do that.
Mayor, I make a motion to surplus it and give it to Joe Coker and then we'll.
Okay, I have a motion, Mr. Johnson, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second, call the roll, Sam.
Mr. Archer? Mr. Bollinger?
Yeah.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Motion carries. Is there anything that's come before council?
Oh, Mayor, one thing real quick. I spoke with Mayor Morton and, Commissioner Robert Higginbotham, who is the chairman of the Animal Control, Committee for the county, concerning the issues that came up here with the animal, with Friends County during the workshop. Mayor Morton assured me, as did Commissioner Higginbotham, that the contract that they put out did include every city in the county, that it did not exclude anybody. Commissioner Higginbotham also assured me that, or also informed me that Friends County does not have the ability to raise fees or charge fees or anything like that to any city in the county. So, I've still, as soon as all the state offices have been closed because of the governor's holiday, so as soon as all the offices open back up, that's another thing I have to call MTS tomorrow to get copies of the laws that they were referencing. And once I have that, then Commissioner Higginbotham said that he would call a animal control committee meeting, and maybe we can decide how we need to proceed into the future. But they said that they did not, that we were included in any contract that they signed with Friends County. So it didn't exclude us.
Anything else? Nobody got anything? Amy? Joseph? What you, Bill?
Present.
Oh, we never gets that.
Fine with me.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. Call.
Call order the beer board, call it over, please.
Mr. Archer?
Present.
Mayor Stanfield?
Here.
Ms. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Chairman Bollinger?
Here. We did have an announcement, but it's since been withdrawn, so there's no business tonight. Motion adjourned.
Motion made, Joe.